The Frozen North, episode 87!
Is this the real life? Hello and welcome to episode number 87 of the Frozen North Gaming Podcast. My name is JJ and I'm here with my friend Mark.
Howdy, y'all! I'm checking in from the actual reality, because I'm here in person.
That's a solid...
I was going to say something that didn't make sense. I changed it.
I'm pretty sure you said something that didn't really make sense. So, I mean, it made sense.
I'm in actual reality right now, JJ.
You are.
Are you disputing that?
I'm not disputing that. You got me. You got me. I can't
Wait,
argue.
unless you're tricking me.
Well, you know, you'll never... Well, you'll know eventually.
Is this the real life?
Or is this just fantasy? That's less than 15
There we
seconds,
go.
right? Fair
Yeah.
use. We're good. We're
Yeah.
cool. What's going on, man? We're here to talk about video games.
Well, what's going on is that we're here to talk about video games.
That is great. I really appreciate you just repeating.
You know,
That's
I have officially received my HTC Vive, and I've been experiencing virtual reality, and it's pretty great.
Yeah, except you didn't let me come over today and try it out.
Well, I was still working out some issues that I was having with it.
I feel like that's an excuse, and you just wanted to hog it to yourself.
Well, I mean, I cannot tell a lie. I did want to hug it. It's true.
At least you're honest. I can't fault you for that. So is it pretty cool, though?
It is. It's very cool. We've said it before, but it's impossible to describe what it is without actually experiencing it.
Sure.
What I will say is things just work the way they should. Like the promise that the Wii had and the Kinect had for motion controls.
Right.
In virtual reality, it actually just works the way it should. Like I was playing Job Simulator and I needed to get some ingredients from the bottom shelf of it's a fun game.
Yeah,
But I needed
Job
some...
Simulator would be a fun game. No, I have no doubt about that.
Anyway,
Mark came over today, and the first thing I said to him, I was like, I saw you playing Job Simulator. You realize you can, do that in real life, where it's not, fake, and actually, make
yeah,
progress.
but you don't have hilarious quips and jokes.
If you want to clean my apartment, I will more than happily stand behind you and, do hilarious quips.
Will you
and make
entertain
jokes.
me constantly?
Absolutely.
While I'm cleaning?
you're cleaning my apartment, absolutely, I would do it.
You'll tell me so many great jokes?
Totally. Yeah.
All right.
Deal.
Maybe.
You're cleaning my apartment.
But no, I needed to get some ingredients off the bottom shelf of the fridge, so I leaned down and I reached into the virtual fridge and I picked up the objects with my hands in a video game.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think, because, to me, just the activities you're describing just sound so mundane and kind of sweet. Mm-hmm. You're picking stuff up in a video game. Great, whatever.
Oh, it's certainly early days.
But
most of the games are... Oh, go ahead.
But like you just said, every single video that I've watched online, people first reactions and that kind of stuff, it doesn't even seem to matter what game they're playing.
Yeah.
The first time they step into it, they're like, holy crap. This is, you're there.
It works.
So I think that's kind of cool, and I can't wait to try it myself.
Yeah. Earlier I was playing I don't know what it's called. It's a parody of a real arcade game, except it's in virtual reality. And basically what you do is you're holding a spaceship from an old arcade game, and there's these ships spawning around in the room shooting lasers at you and stuff, and you can move the ship around with your hand and point it at guys and shoot at them, and so it's like a bullet hell kind of game.
Mm-hmm.
And I started feeling you know what, there's so many bullets coming at me, I'll just step over to the other side of the room where there's no bullets and continue shooting everyone.
Well, I imagine sometime in the future, near future, I would guess, we're probably going to do an episode on VR once we get some more games, you guys get a little more experience, and Brian and I have had the chance to try it out as well.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been playing?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just get the gears churning here. I beat Uncharted 1. I beat this before the last episode, but I wasn't here.
Nice.
Uncharted 1's done, and I'm 2/3, maybe a little bit farther in Uncharted 2, so I should be finished with that relatively soon as well.
Do you think it's better than the original version? Because you're playing the remastered.
The
Nathan Drake.
Well,
collection.
it has the super easy mode.
Well, I was gonna say because you hated the controls prior.
Yeah.
You hated the bullet sponge enemies and stuff. Now that you can play it like how you want to play it.
Yeah, I just blaze through everything and
Cool.
get to enjoy the plot. And the platforming is basically untouched, which is fine because the platforming was never the problem.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. And then I just touched Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah.
Got into it just a little bit.
You'll finish it in time.
We got
Hope you
2.5, 3
time.
weeks.
Oh boy.
Although I have that VR.
Yeah, I know.
I'll get it done.
The only reason you're going to finish it, you're going to get there in time, is because of 3 times speed or whatever it is that you can speed
Exactly.
up. That's ridiculous. You're lucky we're playing that game. So I have been playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. After our last episode, I was just so hopped up on Star Wars and wanting to play those games again that I said to Brian and Brandon, I was like, "Hey, you guys want to like Saturday play Star Wars online again?" And they're like, "That sounds awesome!" So we played like all day Saturday, and been hopping on ever since. Every now and then, just getting a little bit, because once you have a max level, well, not I say max level character, but I had a max level character, not max level anymore because they've upped it since. But I was able to get Legacy on that, which basically gives you a bunch of bonuses to new characters you create and whatnot. But it made leveling super fast. So I'm like just really high level and only like halfway done with the story. So I'm just blazing through it, and it's really nice because I don't have to worry about grinding for experience and doing tons of side stuff. I can just enjoy the story because I'm doing it on a new character. I'm playing an Imperial agent. Brian's doing the same thing. For some reason, he's playing the same character though. Not sure on that, but he likes it.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. But we're having a good time with that. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy XI again, and I finished the Chains of Promethea expansion finally. It's like 10 years in the making for me. And I've also been playing Final Fantasy IX. Why have we been playing Final Fantasy IX, Mark?
We've been playing Final Fantasy IX because it's a really good game.
Thank you for answering it.
Also because we're doing a video game book club, JJ.
We are. If you are subscribed to our feed or you follow us on iTunes and YouTube, you can see it's like a 10-minute video that we put up there about our intro to our video game book club side podcast. Basically, we're going to be playing through Final Fantasy IX. It's me, Mark, and 2 other people from Mark's other show, The Fool's Lantern. We got Shanna and Tank. And we talked a little bit about our history with the game, or lack of history with Shanna. It's her first time playing, which I'm really excited to hear what she thinks, and kind of what we're hoping to get out of doing this podcast. So real quick, I'm going to actually just go ahead and play that spot for you now, so you know what to expect. So go ahead and here it is. What's up, everybody? It's JJ here from the Frozen North podcast. This is not going to be a regular episode. Actually, this is going to be the long overdue and promised for a while video game book club. Mark is actually sitting here with me right now.
Howdy,
Mark.
Howdy, y'all.
See, it's a lot more tame. We're a lot more.
Well, they already heard me scream it earlier in the episode.
True enough. Although I'm also going to be releasing this by itself.
Well, they
in addition
lost.
to the
They
episode.
missed out.
So
Do one.
they have
scream.
heard you do it before.
You want me to do it?
Do it.
Howdy, y'all!
There it is.
Ouch,
There-
that is
see?
worse in person.
He's standing up, so it's like it actually he's able to.
I think that's the loudest
from the
I've done it.
diaphragm. That's impressive. That was good. So the main reason we haven't been able to do the video game book club so far, which officially is what we're going to call it, the VGBC, is because we've been waiting for the freaking game to come out. They've been promising that Final Fantasy IX is going to be coming out at the beginning of this year, and promising, and finally it came out. Hey,
Whoa.
it's here. So
Before Christ.
this
right?
is basically going to be 100%. This is basically going to be just a quick rundown of how the show is going to work, and how we're going to be playing through this game. If we do any games in the future, it depends on the feedback we get and how it all pans out. But we love this game so much that we just want.
If we don't do it in the future, it's your fault.
yes, 100%.
You, the listener.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mark
so
is
you
just-
better get on it, listener. 5 stars.
So basically what's going to happen is we are going to play through about half the game, and I want to make this clear so everybody knows where to stop. the Black Mage Village when you get there. If you've never played the game, you'll know it when you get there.
Black Mage
Just
Village,
the
okay.
Black Mage Village. That's where you want to stop. That's where we are going to stop.
When you get there, or when you're done with the first scene there?
I would say when you get there.
Okay.
Just right when you get there. You'll get into the village and find a save point, save it, boom, turn it off. I mean, you can play more if you want to. It's not going to do anything, but we're not going to talk about anything beyond that.
That's cheating. You get an F if you do that.
So 1 month from now, we're recording this on May 1st. Hopefully I can have this out tonight. But 1 month from now, so what, June 4th?
June 4th.
4th or 5th is when we're going to be recording the actual first official episode of this, where we talk about the beginning of the game all the way up to there. And that's pretty much going to be it. We're going to hopefully go over some characters. We're going to go over, the story and what we think about it, battle system, just kind of rip this game apart in a good way because, it's fantastic. So what I'd like to do right now, though, because there's a couple of voices that you just heard that you may not recognize unless you listen to Mark's show on a regular basis as well. The Fool's Lantern, go check it out.
Woo.
Good.
It's okay.
First, as I said, to my right is Mark. Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about your history with Final Fantasy IX?
Man, let me tell you.
Wow.
I don't even know what to do now.
I just told you what to do.
Final Fantasy IX, as most people know, is the third 3D iteration of the Final Fantasy series, and probably the first one in the series that went back to the roots of what Final Fantasy always was. So it'll hold a dear place. Well, probably the only 3D Final Fantasy that has any of those roots in it, really.
Well, the founder, the father of the series, Hironobu Sakaguchi, has said this is his favorite in the entire series.
Yeah.
This was
And
his
it
basically
should
Final
be.
Fantasy swan song.
Because I feel like all of the other ones since then have sort of gone the Final Fantasy VIII route
Yeah.
with that weird
Not necessarily
realism.
bad, but very, very different from
Yeah.
what made the other Final Fantasies Final Fantasy.
Exactly. This one is just, it's storybook-esque. And I remember it
it's
was
very fairy tale-ish.
probably one of the last games I bought for the PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a great way to go out. But it's been a long time since I've played it, so I'm super excited.
Definitely. Cool. Glad to have you aboard, sir. Always a pleasure.
That plays for radio, right?
That's
Yep.
weird.
07.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And sitting across from me and to my left is Shanna.
Well,
You're
Okay,
to my
I-
left.
He went out of order.
I'm confused.
Well, because normally I go like this,
This,
but I figured I'd
oh,
introduce
that's
him
fine.
first. So,
No worries.
you know.
I'm here. I'm ready to make all your listeners extremely pissed off because I've never played a Final Fantasy game. So I don't have any nostalgia factor going into this. This is going to be totally brand new for me.
I think that's good, though. I think it's
Be
great.
ready for some controversial opinions, I'm sure. The only Final Fantasy game I've ever played is 10-2, and I hated it and stopped playing it.
Everyone hates it.
You know what?
Playing.
Go ahead and compare this game to that one.
Okay, all right, I'll keep Final Fantasy 10-2 in my head while I'm playing Final Fantasy 9.
And just think to yourself, what can I do for you?
Yes. So I'm excited. Hopefully I don't say anything too stupid or ignorant about Final Fantasy while we're reviewing, but that's what I'm here for.
We're just
right?
talking about the game.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
Glad to have you aboard.
Yes.
And saving the best for last.
Oh, yay.
Aw.
See how I fixed that? See?
Nice.
Tank.
Hi, I'm Tank. Yeah, I've played, I think, every Final Fantasy, except the MMOs. I've not played those. And 13, because why bother?
Yeah, agreed.
But Final Fantasy IX is absolutely my favorite of the entire lot. Like you said, like Sakaguchi said, like it's all of the ideas are distilled perfectly. Like the character classes, the ability system, the world, the feel of it, the plot of the story it's a perfect balance of character and political and big picture stuff. It's very well done from beginning to end. It's got amazing high points, amazing low points. I love it.
There
So
really
happy
is
to play it
something for
again.
everybody in that game,
Yeah.
too. 100%. And
Even the mini games are good.
yeah, absolutely. Although I will confess I never did get too deep into the Chocobo Hot and Cold, whatever it is.
I did all of that.
Are you guys going to get all the best prize you can get from jump roping?
I never did that one.
I think I've gotten 100 once.
The timing stays the same, right? It's just like
It goes a little bit quicker, but then eventually it plateaus.
so I was going to say
if I
like if
remember
you could get like
correctly.
an auto clicker or something just to be like just hit it
Yeah.
at the right time. Because it's just like the lightning mini game in Final Fantasy X. I did that once I dodged 200 lightning bolts in a row,
Whoa.
and I never,
Oh, boy.
I never want that.
I'm playing
in
through
my
10
body
right
again.
now again, and I'm just because now they have trophies in there, so I'm
Right.
like, oh, I got to do the
Right?
trophies. So
But it feels harder on the PS4 version
oh, great.
because I think there's like the HD TV lag plus wireless controller lag. So like
I'm
it
looking
makes it
forward to this
amazing.
even
it's
more now.
that much more precise. So
Ugh.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and glad to have you aboard, Tank. As
to
for
be
me,
here.
I mean, you've heard the episode where we did our top 5 games, and this one sneaked on there. Knocked down 7, actually. I love this game, hands down. I've got the nostalgia factor 100%. And the funny thing is, I didn't even know this game had come out when it came out because it was, right after Final Fantasy VIII, and got mixed reactions on that game. I liked it, but a lot of people didn't. And so there really wasn't as much coverage and as much news pushing this one out. So I saw it in a store one day, and I was like, holy crap, when did the 9th one come out? Because, I'd been a fan for a long time. Played it, and I know the moment that I got hooked. It was the opening scene in the forest, the petrified forest. That whole sequence at the end of it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like the whole movie scene,
Yeah.
when you're leaving it, I was like, wow, this is far above and beyond anything I've seen so far.
And it's like what 35 minutes into the game,
yep,
just
yeah,
taking the lid off.
it was just unbelievable. So yeah, needless to say, we're all really excited to try this out, and I'm excited to hear what Shanna has to say.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I'm excited to see it. I don't know. Maybe it'll hold up. Maybe nostalgia has no factor in how good it is, but we'll see.
Also, I played the first hour or so a couple months ago, right when we first started talking about this, because it was like, oh, I need to play that again now. And it's still I'm definitely sensitive to games not holding up well and not aging, and this still I get sucked right back into it.
Awesome. I'm excited
Definitely.
then.
Another big reason we picked this game is because it's so accessible at this point. Like we said, it finally released on Steam, so you can play it on your PC, you can play it on your PS3, you can play it on your PS1, you can play it on your Vita, PSP, all that stuff. So it's really, really not tough to get a hold of. And if you're somebody like Mark who has played through it and run the gauntlet and beat it on its
Android,
own,
too.
And hates
oh, and it's on Android,
Challenge.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And wants
you know,
to just relax while he's
just
playing
wants
the
to roll
game.
through and enjoy the story. The Steam version has a bunch of new features that allow for max damage with every hit and turning off random encounters and
Speed mode.
So it's you'll have a bit of an easier time right there. I'm probably just gonna play it on my Vita and just enjoy because even if I played it on Steam, I wouldn't have all that stuff on, just because I love this game so much and I love the combat. I love grinding and stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. But like I said, play up to the Black Mage Village. That's when we're gonna start. That's gonna be our first episode. And it's gonna be recorded. It's gonna be on iTunes. So if you don't get there when we get there, don't listen to the episode yet.
Yeah.
Just finish it and then listen to it.
Just favorite it, 5-star, give a good comment on it.
Exactly.
And then just
Exactly.
listen to it whenever you want.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then afterwards, a month later, we will go ahead and do the second part of the game. So we'll talk about that then as well. So anybody else have anything else? This is going to be short and sweet. So I just kind of wanted to get everybody introduced and let everybody know that we're starting. So
Well, this is the first time I've been on this podcast sober, so that's kind of a nice experience for me. I've been on a few side quests that have been a little bit
Shannon,
sloppy.
nobody could tell.
Sure, that's true. But anywho, I'm excited.
Amazing. All right. Well, with that, thank you for tuning in, and we definitely look forward to playing the game and hope you will play along with us. My name is JJ.
My name's Mark.
Shanna's here.
And I'm Tank.
All right. We'll see you then. So there you have it. There is a pretty good explanation on what our video game book club is going to be. So play up to that Black Mage Village if you want to play along with us.
Yeah.
And again, that will be released separate from our main Frozen North episodes. So I would say freaking go listen to it on YouTube because we could use some more traffic over there. So, right, Mark?
Absolutely.
There you go.
We need to get that going.
All right. If you want to listen to it on iTunes, that's fine.
No,
If you want to be a part of the crowd, if you want to be,
that's a little passe
you want to
now.
be conformist. Everybody is listening to our stuff on iTunes. That's not true at all. All right, contributor question. So 2 weeks ago, we asked, when do you consider a game to be complete? We got a few responses, and I knew this was actually something back when we did like the biweekly questions like years ago. It was years ago actually, and there was a running joke about Brian when he had quote unquote perfected Kingdom Hearts.
Oh boy.
So you'll definitely hear that in these responses. But we'll go ahead and play that right now. And so contributors, when do you consider a game to be complete?
Hey guys, it's Brian. I'm going to contribute to this week's question of when do you consider a game complete? Super simple, 23%, put the game away. Thanks. I'm just kidding. A little inside joke there. If you've been listening to the show, you will know why that's an inside joke. No, I personally, for me, when a game is complete, I am super story-focused, so I need to experience all of the narrative. For example, in Bloodborne, there is a bad ending, just a normal ending, and then there's a hidden ending where you fight a secret boss and get that best ending. I want the most amount of narrative. Now, that said, I don't go back and replay games to see branching endings. I leave my ending as it is, because I feel like if you go back and replay it and you just see all the endings, that one experience wasn't yours. Like Mass Effect, I always pick green. I've never picked red or blue. If you played Mass Effect 3, you know what I'm talking about. I always like to, if it's just branching endings and there's not secret endings. Kingdom Hearts is a good example. I don't need to collect everything and get 100% completion. If it doesn't have anything to do with the story or narrative, like if it's Assassin's Creed and I just need to go collect flags to get an achievement and has nothing to do with the narrative, I will skip it. Now, if it's like, hey, collect all the 101 Dalmatians, get this done and do this in Kingdom Hearts to get the secret ending at the end of the game, I will, because the secret ending is more of the narrative. So that's kind of my whole thing, is I want the narrative, I want the full breadth of the narrative. I have to collect like audio files to get all the narrative, I will do that, because audio files enhance the narrative. So that's really mine. It varies from game to game. Obviously, if the game's not story heavy, I just beat the game or play a little bit of multiplayer or whatever, and then put it up on the shelf. So, yep, for me, I have to see all the narrative and get the full breadth of the story, because I'm a glutton for that story, guys. But that's my answer. I hope you enjoyed it, and if it wasn't the best answer here, then you, sir, have bad opinions.
Hey guys, Mark the Machine here. When is a game complete? I'm going to give the classic answer. I am not a completionist. I just want to make sure that I finish the prescribed storyline in a game. Me personally, I've got such a big backlog, I kind of don't want to do all of the 100% completion stuff. More often than not, I find it tedious by finding all of the flags or puzzle pieces or gemstones or what have you. I don't get much out of it. Even the unlockable costumes and stuff like that in games that dangle the carrot in front of you as the reward doesn't really appeal to me. It's more of getting through the experience of the game, and if you're fortunate enough to get on to the next one, because frankly we live in a very busy world and you just got to keep gaming. Thanks guys.
Hey everyone, it's your favorite bro gamer Brandon here, just popping in to answer a question that is very near and dear to my heart. When do you consider a game complete? So, in my opinion, and I believe it is the correct opinion, a game is complete when it is 100% done, Brian. 100%. That means you get all the achievements or trophies. That means when you go to your little statistics, it says 100% mark. None of this 23%. Yeah, but I finished the story. The story is not the whole game. It is not complete. It is not finished. You need to be able to do everything that the game offers you to do, and that's when you consider it complete. And if it's an online multiplayer game, you can still quote-unquote complete it, I guess, if you unlock everything that there is to unlock. As long as there is a statistic and it says 100% done, then you are done with the game. Anything less does not count. Anything less just means you haven't finished the game yet. And that's all there is to it. Thanks for listening, and I'm right.
And we're back. Oh, man, Brandon just calling out Brian for that 23%. For those of you who might be newer listeners to the show, I'll give you a quick, brief explanation on what that was. We have, like, obviously this is episode 87, so we've been doing this for a while now. But a few years ago, we did one where Brian came on the show and we were doing, what you've been playing, and he was talking about how he was playing the new remastered Kingdom Hearts on PS3. And he was like, his exact words were, I played Kingdom Hearts and I perfected it. And we're like, okay, we just took it at face value and whatever. Well, so I think it was me. I was looking at his trophies that night, and I noticed it said 23% next to his trophies, and I'm like, well, that's weird. He said he perfected it.
Whoops.
So, like,
he proved that he actually did everything he could have.
No, absolutely. And Brian's not a liar. He's an exaggerator, but he's not a liar.
True.
So I was like, I go, hey, dude, how come it says 23% on here? And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, because you said you perfected it. And he's like, well, I did. We're like, what? 23% is not perfect. And he's like, well, that's what I call perfect. I got the perfect ending. And we're like, well, yeah, but you said you perfected it, which alludes to, and it was just this whole thing. And he kept trying to, like, go to people and say, like, if I said I perfected this game, what would you consider that? And everybody gave him the same answer, like, well, it means you did everything. You got all the achievements and all this stuff. He's like, yeah, what if you get just the perfect ending? No, that's not.
Whoops.
That's not perfect. And it was just hilarious watching him squirm with it. And it's been a running joke ever since.
Because he got all the collectibles and everything. He just didn't do all the multiple.
He got whatever the best ending was, and that's what he considered. The perfect ending is what he called it and what he meant by it. It was just funny because he was just squirming, which is hilarious to me. So, and that's what Brandon was giving him crap about as well.
I enjoyed that. There's a little fire in Brandon's voice.
Yep, me too. I honestly am on the same page as the Machine and Brian.
Yeah.
I don't need to necessarily do everything in a game. I am happy just going through, doing the story, and then calling it good. I feel like I finished that game at that point. That's kind of where you're sitting too?
Yeah, I'm not going to do every mission. I'll do every mission I have to do to not cause my girlfriend's race to become extinct. And I'll go back and fix it if I mess that up.
You referring to when you felt violently ill after your Mass Effect playthrough?
Yeah. When I killed everybody in Tally's race. Whoops.
Oh, man. Wait a minute. So, isn't getting whacked is slang, right? For killing someone.
Yes.
So, were you a tallywhacker?
I was.
Boom! See what I did there?
I was, except I didn't kill her. She committed suicide
oh, that's right.
because of my actions.
But your actions, like, indirectly made her do that. So you could still technically be blamed for that. So you murderous bastard.
I have so many scars from the show.
Unbelievable. Man. So cool. All right. Well, appreciate you guys for sending those submissions. The next one's going to be really cool. I'm excited to hear about the responses we get on that one. Listen to the end of the show for that one. Next, we got Brian up in the newsroom hitting us with some news.
Oh, yeah.
Brian, take it away, sir.
Hey guys, it's Brian with your Frozen North news update. Going to be short and sweet. Let's get right into it. All right, so the first two pieces of news I'm going to kind of lump together because they're two games that are super similar. Battlefield and Call of Duty both got announced, and they both have interesting little tidbits about them. Not everybody's bro gamer or appreciates those games, but we're going to talk about it anyway because it did make huge waves in the gaming community. First, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare got announced, set in the very far future. Looks like space battles are involved, but typical Call of Duty set pieces and action-packed, Michael Bay movie stuff. However, there's a really interesting move that Infinity Ward and Activision did. One of the best games in the Call of Duty series is considered Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. They're packaging a remastered version of that in the Call of Duty Infinite bundle. The gaming community is a little upset because you cannot buy it separately. You have to buy the $79.99 bundle. It's like the Elite Edition of Call of Duty Infinite to get that version of the game. And as that is one of the most beloved, that's very similar to if Square Enix said, hey, that Final Fantasy VII remaster's coming. Here's the catch. Gotta buy Final Fantasy 16. Kind of one of those things where it's like, well, okay. I mean, people are going to do it, but that was a very interesting move. It looks like it's going to drive sales up pretty greatly of the Call of Duty Infinite Call of Duty Infinite Warfare in its numbers. So that was a little interesting bit of news. Not sure what side of the fence you are on. I mean, I really don't care. I don't necessarily play a lot of Call of Duties, and if I do play them, I just play them for the campaign because I'm a weirdo like that. And the next one, Battlefield. Obviously, this is going to be more of a just kind of interesting little factoid. It is set in the World War I era. This should be interesting, as World War I typically gets overlooked when making video games because, as we all know, or at least we should know if you took a history class, World War I largely took place in trenches. The technology wasn't quite... it was kind of transitioning from... You had your, Civil War battle lines to more of a tactical modern war that we see now. It's kind of in between. So you had these awkward, trench battles where your guns weren't super rangy, so you had to stay kind of close. Interesting tidbit. There are vehicles in World War I. There are obviously blimps, and there were rudimentary tanks and planes. So obviously the battlefield can utilize that as they're known for their vehicles. I have a feeling they're going to have to kind of take a little bit of liberties with World War I to make an interesting video game out of that war. That war is notorious for being just ugly. Tons of disease, mustard gas, just a very dirty, downright low-down war that was. So interesting that they're Battlefield's actually tackling that era, which is pretty neat. And then the last bit of news, shifting over to a little bit of weird news, Nintendo, just a few of the moves that they're making. They kind of announced their E3 lineup. So this 2016 year is looking to be one of the toughest years Nintendo's ever faced. As you guys know, they pushed Zelda Wii U out back to next year, and they are planning on releasing that with the NX, so you can imagine that Nintendo's not going to have a big presence in 2016. They are releasing a few games, but there are really no huge sellers on the list for Nintendo. And another weird decision they made is the only thing that they are showing at E3. I mean, I'm sure they'll show some 3DS stuff, but they are not talking about the NX at all, period. You will not see or hear anything about the NX at E3. Okay, we know they do Direct, but they plan to do that and reveal the NX stuff later on in the year, like closer to September, October, which is just weird. They need to get in front of this. I think Wii U owners at this point are kind of feeling a little bit, I wouldn't say betrayed, but like, come on, Nintendo, give me something. What can I look forward to at the NX? Well, you're not going to get anything about it at E3. They will have a playable Zelda Wii U game there, but it'll be only the Wii U version. We'll see 0 on the NX, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, this is going to be a really rough year for Nintendo. I really hope they play this NX thing right. I think if this NX fails, you might see Nintendo have a drastic shift in their, I guess, business model, because a company can't last too long on pretty terrible years. So we'll see. Hope Nintendo does great, but they really, in my opinion, need to start to get people excited about the NX. Way too many questions, not enough facts. I think Nintendo needs to just bite the bullet and start talking a little bit about it if they can. Anyway, that's your news. This is Brian. Mark play more games. Actually, Mark's got VR now, so Mark does not need real reality anymore. So Mark is gone. He's in his virtual space. We wish him well in this virtual world, and he got his Vive the other day, and it's very exciting. So, anyway, guys, this is Brian signing off with your news. Thanks for listening. Back to you guys.
And we're back. Thank you, Brian, very much for the colorful insight and news, as always. I gotta say, honestly, I'm excited for Battlefield 1. I think it actually looks cool. I have always been fascinated by World War 1.
Yeah.
Growing up with my dad, he was always a big history buff, and so I became one. And, we always just talked about, World War II, World War I, the Civil War, just very, very I don't even know how to describe it. Just historical battles we were really, really into. And there's really not a lot of movies on World War One. There's certainly not a lot of games on World War One. But it was definitely just some of the most horrific ways of fighting that has ever occurred throughout human history. And if it looks, if the game is anything like what the trailer shows, I'm super excited for it. The aerial battles they have, the Zeppelins, trench warfare, obviously. It's just fascinating to me.
Definitely. And people are tired of, maybe I'm speaking for everyone out of turn, but I feel like people are getting tired of the ultra-realistic modern warfare FPS games. So we had so many of them.
Yeah, and with Call of Duty, from what I've seen online and everything, people are not happy with what they've seen out of the new one that's coming out. Because they want the remastered Modern Warfare, but they don't want to have to pay $80 to get it, which to me is crazy. Why wouldn't you just sell it separately? Sell each game separately, then sell them together, for some sort of a discounted rate or something like that. So I don't know the thinking behind that. And the reason I have a feeling that this Call of Duty is going to be bad, well, two reasons actually. One is because I think it looks cool. And generally, if I think a Call of Duty game looks cool, that means that the masses probably don't. So just because I'm like, oh, sweet, space battles. That wasn't in Battlefront. So,
whoops.
I'm excited for it. But they want that historical stuff. They want the World War II. Yeah. They want the old school stuff that they had years ago. Because they've had, like you said, all these modern games that have been coming out.
Think about the last time we had World War II games. Video games could not do what they did now, what they do now. The engines were fairly basic.
Absolutely.
So the level of cinematic portrayal of these wars is going to be insane.
Definitely.
Like you see in the trailer, the Zeppelins flying overhead. Go watch the trailer if you haven't.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks really cool. And also because, the people that are the big Call of Duty fans are literally going to Twitter and doing hashtag RIP COD. So, like that right there.
Whoops.
There's a lot of people who are unhappy by it. I don't know. I mean, it's Call of Duty. It's a big name. People will still buy it. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens, whether it's, huge or not.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are saying, like, oh, look, Battlefield is actually doing what we wanted from Call of Duty. They're going back to, the history stuff. So, either way, I think both games look kind of neat. And as far as Nintendo goes, same old stuff. Really nothing new there.
Yeah, another little whoops there as well.
I hope they get their act together and, said it a million times over. Still love you, Nintendo. Just, I feel like they're in their teenage years trying to figure out what the heck they want out of life. But having to deal with all these crazy emotions and keep making stupid decisions. Hopefully they learn from them.
I don't think they're in their teenage years. I think they're going through a midlife crisis.
That's probably a better way to put it. Yeah, okay. All right. Good call. Solid. Mark, you're so much better at analogies than I am.
Sometimes.
They
usually just devolve into me getting hungry for lunch.
That's a very good point. All right. You know what? And I forgot to do this before when we talked about our contributor question. But if you would ever like to contribute an answer to our show, you can do so by sending your submission to frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com. You can check out our website at fngaming.net. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/thefrozennorth. Our Twitter is @fnpodcast. Our blog is frozennorthpodcast.blogspot.com. Twitch.tv/frozennorthgames. I apologize. I haven't been on there the past couple of weeks because there's something wrong with my my connection in my PS4 camera, and I am having a total issue with my computer altogether on that. So I promise when I get that up and running again, I'll be back to Wednesday and Thursday nights between 6 and 9 p.m. Central. YouTube, Frozen North Gaming. Give us some love on there because we're I think everybody's still pretty much just listening on the other stuff. But if you're playing a PC game or something like that, throw on YouTube, listen to it on there.
And you know what? If you listen, if you listen on iTunes, fine, that's cool. But sometimes it's just easier to click a link and grab that YouTube link and send it to a friend. So that what I'm telling you today is, if you're trying to show a friend something that we said, I mean, you can link them to the time in the video where we're talking about the thing you want to talk about.
Absolutely,
do it up,
definitely. And if you do listen on iTunes, you should be leaving us comments.
Yeah, come on.
Leave us comments on iTunes. Subscribe to and rate us on there. We appreciate it. So just let us know what you think, what you like and what you don't like. All right, we got something special for you now. We did an interview with an author who wrote this really sweet book that I just got done reading. The author's name is Adelle Yeung, and we're going to go ahead and head over to our past selves.
Time travel.
So here we go. Take it away. All right, we are here in the studio again. It's me, JJ, with Mark. Mark, say hi.
Hello.
and Shanna.
Howdy, y'all.
Shanna, as you know, is also part of the book club that we have started recently, and she is a part of Mark's other show, The Fool's Lantern, where they talk about TV and stuff. Go check them out for sure.
That Final Fantasy IX's pretty good so far.
That sounded really enthusiastic.
I want to ask you about it, but save it.
Save it. Okay.
We are actually here with Miss Adelle Yeung. She is here to talk to us about a book that she wrote. It's actually a trilogy. Adelle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
So good.
So good. I actually just finished your book a couple of days ago, and I mean, I told you this off the air, but I really, really enjoyed it, and can't wait to get into it and tell people about it, and hopefully, get people to get you some what do
Get
you call
on
that?
Amazon. Get them books.
Some readers, I guess. I almost said customers. I was like, that just sounds stupid.
Readers. Readers are
Yeah,
good word.
absolutely. So, I mean, obviously, we just mentioned you wrote this book, and what else? So, what can you tell us a little bit about yourself and, what you do, that kind of stuff?
Well, my name is Adelle Yeung. I am the author of The Cycle of the Six Moons trilogy. I currently have 2 books out right now, The Starriest Summer and An Eclipsing Autumn. The third book, the final book in the trilogy, obviously, is The Last Winter Moon, and that'll be due out sometime later this year. I still got to do some edits on it and stuff like that. So I'm also a voice actress, and I've done some voices for some indie games, and I've also done some voice acted teaser trailers for the books, and those are online as well.
Oh, awesome. Cool. So if the third book is like you're kind of doing editing and stuff, does that mean it's like the rough draft is totally finished?
Yeah, it's been done for a few years, actually.
Oh, man.
But I'm just like going back and doing the finishing, polishing touches and just adding a little more details here and there.
Cool. Heck yeah. I definitely cannot wait to finally get some questions answered. I know we've talked a little bit on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I'm guessing this is this, but don't tell me what it is. So
Yeah.
I really did enjoy it.
All right. The book is called The Cycle of the Six Moons, The Starriest Summer. What can you tell us about the book and its plot?
Well, it follows a teenager named Michelle. She loves video games, and her older brother makes this device, which he tells her is a virtual reality game, and she, quote-unquote, plays it, but she falls into another world where she awakens the apocalypse, and then she finds out that she is the goddess of that world, and so she has to use her video game knowledge in order to save the world.
It's awesome.
Very cool. One of the things that I really liked about it was the references that are in there. And I know I brought this up when Mark and Shanna and I were talking a few days ago about it. I was like, do you guys know the reference that's in the beginning of the book? And I told them about, this reference to a game that I had played, Earthbound, a while ago. And, I'm not going to spoil it or anything like that. But I was just like, seeing those little bits of nostalgia for me, especially, I was like, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Definitely if you're into those old school games, check it out because there's a lot of it. Just kind of like you read it and you're like, yes, somebody who appreciates the classic.
Yes! Somebody who gets it!
Absolutely.
There's some little Easter eggs in there.
And one of the things that I really, really liked about, and this speaks more to your writing as well, and I mentioned this to you the other day, Michelle, the main character, like she goes into this other world, and the way that it's laid out in the beginning, you totally you're assuming just like she is, she's about to play this really sweet new video game where she goes into this new world and gets to experience this. And shoot, right now everybody's on a VR kick, anyways.
Yeah,
with the Vive coming out and the Oculus Rift and PSVR later this year. So we've already got hype for that. So this she's describing the realism and everything like that, and you are actually, as the reader, discovering along with her that is this really just a game? Because some of this stuff is a little too freaky for me to, think that, like, I mean, she says it in the book. She's like, yeah, man, my brother really put some detail into this. How did he, get this and this? And it's just really, really cool to kind of like discover along with her what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was kind of a cool little detail.
Yeah. So as JJ said, there's a lot of Easter eggs. There's a lot of like little hidden, like, oh, I know that video game, laced throughout the book. It's clear you play video games. I happen to know you do, because little secret for the listeners, me and Adele, we go way back. Isn't that right, Adele?
Yeah,
Sixth
like
grade.
more than half our life.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, for the people who don't know you as well, what were your video game influences? Would you consider yourself a gamer? What have you been playing lately?
Let's see. Well, currently right now I'm playing Telltale's Game of Thrones.
Woo!
I just finished the
Nice.
third episode just a few hours ago. That's my most current game. I actually,
Nice.
in my adult life, I don't play as many video games because I have to be responsible and actually do responsible adult things.
It
So,
sucks.
No, I tell myself that I'm supposed to do the same thing. Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
so
with you.
I'm very picky about games that I play nowadays. But back in the day when I had plenty of time, I used to play a lot of like JRPGs, like Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger. That's like one of my favorite games. Also Earthbound, because Earthbound is amazing.
Yeah, and you love those games so much. You've done like fan dubs of those games as well.
Oh yes,
I remember, and this has been going on for a long time. I remember in
you
high
helped
school,
me with one of them.
one of your very first ones. I was a little
Yeah.
Koopo. I remember my line. I was like, Koopo, I'm sleepy. I was terrible. I was absolutely terrible. But now you actually have like good voice actor friends that like the amount of progress you've made in that is awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm picturing Shanna like practicing for hours in front of the mirror before she
No.
does that.
No, it was definitely not well rehearsed at all.
She's just like
Pretty much
different
asked
voice
you on the
tones.
spot.
Yeah, you were like, here, come here. Here's a microphone. Here's your line. Do it. No, it was great. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just picturing you just in front of the mirror going, Koopo, 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 Koopo.
Yeah, I just went with the first thing. Yeah, I know. I should have practiced more. I apologize. I'm sure that video still exists somewhere. If I can
It
find
does. I'm sure. I'm not even sure which one it was, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That is hysterical. Oh my gosh. So I mean, are any of those games that you just talked about, like, I mean, clearly they're from your past and they hold great influence, but are there any that stand out? Like, what are some of your favorites that really, really just like stuck with you your entire life?
Oh, definitely Chrono Trigger. That's probably my favorite game of all time. It's like, yeah, it's influenced me a lot in my writing. So, like music and the characters and the plot. And as an adult, I find that you can speed through it quite quickly compared to when I was like a kid, and I'm like spending months on it.
The cool thing about Chrono Trigger, though, is like even if you do speed through it, you can just pick right up again from the beginning with your same levels and stats, and then go for a different ending and play through it over and over
I
again.
did that recently, and I got like the fast ending, which took me like 2 minutes to get through because I took the transporter and
At the end of time, the bucket. I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Oh, I confess I've not done that one. Have you heard about the new game coming out from Square Enix called I Am Setsuna?
I have. I've seen. I was like Chrono Trigger in the article titles, and I'm like, yes, I need to play this.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a spiritual successor. Oh my gosh, I am so excited because it's been so long since we've had any sort of Chrono news or anything like that. Oh, Mark just played through that game for the first time recently. Well, not recently, but like
Chrono Trigger?
yeah.
Oh, that was my first time.
Oh, it was Brian.
Yeah.
Brian was the one that did it. That's right. He really liked it though.
I've
a
never
really good
played
game.
it. I haven't played it.
Shanna.
It's outdated now, but it's still very classic. And
Yeah.
I gotta try it.
Any love for Chrono Cross?
I love the music in that game. It's the story's a little bit weird, but it has a special place in my heart as well.
The music, yeah, for sure. I mean, both games, the music is spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely can't fault you for liking Chrono Trigger. Man.
Yep.
All right. Well, we really, really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us and just kind of go over some of this stuff. Is there anything that you have that you want to plug? Where can they go to get the book?
Oh, well, you can go to my website, AdelleYeung.com. That's AdelleYeung.com. And there you can find like synopses about the book, some artwork, and you can even check out some of the voice acted teaser trailers that I made for the books.
Very cool. And I want to stress, like, you guys know me, anytime we ever plugged anything on the show, I won't plug something unless I wholeheartedly believe in it, and I genuinely enjoy this. Shan actually was the one that had told me that you had written a book, and I will confess, like, I ordered it at first because I was like, all right, well, if we're going to be talking to her on the show, I should probably at least get, a little bit, read a couple of chapters so I know, a little bit what I'm talking about. Read through the whole thing. Clearly I liked it, so ended up enjoying it immensely. I'm definitely going to be picking up the second one. So, anybody who is a nostalgic freak like I am, I highly, highly recommend it. Give it a shot. Again, the title is The Cycle of the Six Moons, The Starriest Summer. That's book 1. So 2 more after that. Anything else that you got for our listeners at all?
I think that's it.
Thank you, Adele. You're the best.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for taking the time out. All right. Well,
Don't hang up.
Don't-
Sorry,
yeah,
you,
don't-
you
don't
say
hang-
goodbye.
That's
but-
my classic.
Oh.
This
move.
is the last time we did an interview with somebody, I said, all right, thank you very much, and Mark hung up on him afterwards. So, but yeah, just stick around for a little bit. We'll talk a little bit. But again, thank you so much, and hopefully
Thank
people
you.
will head over to your website and check it out. All right, Mark and I are back here in the studio.
We've been in the studio a lot.
We have quite a bit, actually. So that was Adelle Yeung. She's so sweet, and thank you again, Adele, for taking the time out to hang out with us and talk to us about your book. Again, I legitimately really enjoyed it. It was just a really fun little adventure, and highly encourage you to go check it out. AdelleYeung.com. AdelleYeung.com. And like she said, there's a bunch of little snippets you can check out there and some clips and summaries and stuff. So I'm excited. I'm ready to jump into book 2.
Book 3 on the way.
Book 3, well, she said it's done. She just has to, clean it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that too. But I got to obviously finish book 2 first. Mark, 1, 2, 3, not 1, 3.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Just so you're clear on this. So definitely
well,
go check her.
I mean, I made that mistake with the Witcher books.
Oh, did you really?
I just started on the wrong one for no reason.
You've been listening to the crap out of those things, too.
They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. Interesting. All right, so our contributor question for episode 88. Oh, man. Next episode's going to be a good one. It's going to be fun. I love doing this every year. Always have a good time with the speculation and everything. We're going to be talking E3. Obviously, E3 isn't here yet, but we're going to be speculating and talking about what we'd love to see there. So that's it. That's the question for episode 88. What are you hoping to see from E3 2006? Shoot us an email. Let us know. frozennorthpodcast@gmail.com. Or go ahead and just record yourself doing like a 1 to 2 minute segment telling us about what you're hoping to see there. And I'll go ahead and throw it in with the group that we get. And then we'll probably do like a top 5 list of what we'd like to see from E3 this year, which Brandon and I will be attending. So super excited about that.
That's pretty exciting.
Cannot wait, man. Oh, so stoked. And then when we get back, dude, right when we get back, No Man's Sky is out. So
No Man's Sky.
June is going to be fantastic.
The Witcher 3.
Blood and Wine.
Blood and Wine.
Yeah.
Probably going to be out.
I Am Setsuna comes out, I think, in July.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this year is... Whoa! This year's awesome.
It's a
gonna
pretty
be great.
awesome year.
I'm so excited. So I don't really have anything else. Do you have anything else for episode number 87?
I'll see none of y'all's in the virtual realm.
What?
I'm... Nobody else has a headset, so I was going to say I'll see y'all in the virtual realm, but
Tank
I realized
has a headset.
I'll see Tank in the virtual realm.
Will you? Are there multiplayer games in there? Yet?
Sort of.
Sort of? Does it just say Tank is online?
There's a game... There's a program where you can sit in a virtual room and work on your virtual computers next to each other.
Have you tried... oh, this is going to make me sound so cheesy. Have you tried watching a movie in there yet?
I watched an episode of Archer in there.
Is it like a virtual movie theater?
Basically,
Oh, dude. That's
I got to get a more comfortable chair to sit on though,
Yeah.
because the chair looks really comfortable when I look at it, but I'm still just sitting on my beat up old computer chair.
Can you do a multiplayer on that where you're like 2 people sitting in the theater?
Actually, yes.
Dude, that's so cool. Oh man, we need to do that for like we could have a Game of Thrones night that way sometime.
I love it.
Anyways, so yeah, let us know next episode. What are you hoping to see from E3 2016? Well, this is the Frozen North signing off for episode number 87. My name is JJ,
And I'm Mark.
and as always, keep on gaming.
Our theme song was made available through the Creative Commons Attribution license by Ziphoid. The song title is Radical Fanfare.